In February 2025, the United States was shocked by a terrible tragedy that not only highlighted the issue of violence, but also drew attention to an ongoing problem: violence against transgender individuals. Sam Nordquist, a transgender man from Minnesota, became the victim of a brutal murder that deeply affected not only his family and friends, but also the entire transgender community. His death served as a painful reminder that transgender people in the U.S. continue to face discrimination, violence, and hatred. He was young, active, and dedicated to his beliefs. Sam was an advocate for transgender rights and aimed to create a safer, more accepting environment for people like him. Though his life was cut short, his fight left behind an important legacy. Sam Nordquist was born in Minnesota to a family that supported him and accepted him for who he was. From a young age, Sam realized that his identity was different from what others expected from him. This was a difficult realization, as living openly in a society that often doesn't understand or accept can be challenging. However, Sam not only accepted his true identity, but became a voice for many who hadn't yet found their place in the world. His activism focused on helping youth who were struggling with their transgender identity. He worked with charitable organizations, was an advocate, called for legislative change, and supported those facing family and societal rejection. In February 2025, Sam traveled to New York to visit a friend and continue his advocacy work. No one could have predicted that this trip would be his last. A few days after arriving, Sam was found dead in his rented apartment, his body showing signs of brutal violence. The circumstances of his death pointed to a hate-fueled crime. At first, the authorities were unable to determine the exact cause of his death, as Sam had no known enemies or ongoing conflicts. But as the investigation progressed, it became clear that the attackers targeted Sam specifically because of his transgender identity. Investigations revealed that Sam's murder was not a random act of violence. The 5 individuals arrested for the crime acted out of hatred and intolerance toward transgender people. This was a clear example of hate-fueled violence. Public organizations and human rights groups across the country expressed their outrage over the crime. They called for more attention to be given to the issue of violence against transgender individuals and for changes in legislation to better protect this vulnerable group. This case raised the question: how many more transgender people need to suffer before society takes real action? How can we change the situation to ensure that such tragedies don't happen again? When Sam's family and friends learned of his death, they were devastated. They couldn't believe what had happened. They shared stories of how Sam was always cheerful, kind-hearted, and always tried to help others. His death was a huge blow to everyone who knew him. Yet, even in the face of this tragedy, they felt his legacy should continue. His brother, William Nordquist, said that Sam was not just a brother to him, but a role model. He was someone who fought to change the world around him for the better, and helped others find their place in this world. Despite the heartbreaking loss, Sam's family continues his work. After his murder, they founded a foundation in his name to support transgender rights and promote their integration into society. Sam was a symbol of the fight for equality and for every person's right to be themselves. Although his life ended too soon, his legacy lives on in everyone he inspired. Transgender individuals who face similar struggles now find hope and inspiration in his story to continue fighting for their rights. Sam Nordquist's death is yet another urgent reminder for the world. It shows that even in a modern society that often claims to be progressive, there are still many unresolved issues. Transgender people still face violence and discrimination. That's why it's so important to continue the fight for equal rights, for acceptance, and for respect for all people, no matter their gender identity. We all have the power to make this world a better place by supporting each other and refusing to remain indifferent to such tragedies.